Hello! We are currently in Houston. We're at my mom's house. Tomorrow we board our flight from the Houston airport to Japan, and I'm so excited. We were supposed to go to Japan 5 years ago in 2020, March of 2020, but of course everything got canceled. And then I also ended up breaking my foot like a few weeks before. So the day has finally come where we've rebooked our trip, and I wanted to show everything I'm packing to go. So we're using Zip Air. It's a budget airline. We did spring for the lay flat seats from Houston to Tokyo, so we'll actually be able to lay down, and I'm really looking forward to experiencing that. I'm taking this as like my luggage bag, my big luggage bag, and this is like a day pack, and I have everything ready just for the plane, and then I have the majority of my clothes and extras in here, and then this is clothes that I will be putting on tomorrow to be wearing on the plane. I'm taking just like a windbreaker jacket. The weather when we go, it's going to be a little warm for the first few days there, maybe like 3 or 4 days, or it'll be mid to high 70s as the high, and then I think a cold front is coming in and it'll start going down to the 50s as the high. So I have the windbreaker. I have this in this pink, and then I'm also taking another one that's the same but a green one. And then I'm taking 2 scarves, and I'm also planning on using this as like a blanket on the plane, because Zip Air, even though we got the lay flat seats, they don't provide a pillow or blanket or anything like that unless you pay extra for it, and I felt like I'd be fine with just the scarf to cover myself. But I'm taking 2 of these. Fito might use the second one as a blanket. If not, maybe I'll put it with my pillow, I don't know. But well, these are also scarves for the days where it's cold in Japan. And I have this in a green, and I have it in brown. We're also taking compression socks for the plane. Since we have the lay flat seats, it's not as important for us going over there, but I'll still be wearing them. On the way back, we do have regular normal seats with Zip Air, where we are just going to be sitting down, so the compression socks will be a lot more important on the way back. And then I have a dress. The dress I'll be wearing on the plane. It's a long maxi dress, and I'll show a picture of what it looks like. This is one of the dresses I'm also going to be wearing for other days in Japan, and all of my clothes that I'm bringing, besides like the windbreaker jacket, is merino wool from Woolland, just because merino wool has all those magical properties: the temperature regulating, the antibacterial, I think it was antibacterial or antimicrobial, one of those words, where you don't have to wash after every single use. If it smells, just hang it overnight and it should be good to go. And I have found that to be the case in the merino wool I've been wearing. So yeah, all my clothes that I'm taking to Japan is merino wool. This is going to be my day pack that I use in Japan, that I'm going to be wearing while we walk around. I have my X3 60 camera clipped to a backpack strap just to make it easy access to get to. This is the Pacsafe Convertible backpack. So right now it is in backpack mode, but if I wanted to, this does fold down into a crossbody bag. Then I also have a collapsible water bottle that I plan on taking for the plane, putting some water once we get to the airport. So what I have in here, since this is Pacsafe, it does have the anti-theft features. It has this little locking mechanism. The zipper is interlocked together, and then you can put the zipper through the interlocking mechanism. Okay, so I'll put in here things that I want easy to get while I'm sitting on the plane. So I have my charger. Zip Air does have outlets and free Wi-Fi. So there's not, the lay flats don't even have a screen, but they do have free Wi-Fi. So I'm bringing my Chromebook so that I can have things to watch, and this will be my screen while on the plane. I did download a couple of episodes of stuff just to watch, even though there's free Wi-Fi, just so it's easy to put on. Since you pay extra for snacks or food, we did purchase a meal for them to give us 2 hours before we land. We are going to eat once we get to the airport in the morning, and then I also have snacks. I just got little 2-bite brownies and these crackers and snacks. These are for the little cameras I have. They're magnets that you can put around your neck and then have the camera magnetically stick to this so that you can have hands-free camera recording. I have 2 of those since I have 2 cameras. Zip Air does have weight limits for your carry-ons. For both of these together, I purchased the Flex Biz package. Normally for your carry-on you just get 7 kilograms included. With the Flex Biz package, it did add on an extra 8 kilograms, so I can take a total of 15 kilograms onto the plane with my carry-on and personal item. And that's about 33 pounds or a little over 33 pounds. And yeah, I weighed all this and it's about 31 pounds, so I just made it. But yeah, this was my luggage scale to make sure we stayed within limits. This is my little coin purse for the yen we get in coins. I had a co-worker who had just come from Japan late last year, and he had a little bit extra yen, so since he knew we were going to Japan, he gave me 500 extra yen in coins. So they're in here already. Okay, I have this little mini tripod that can connect to the X4 selfie stick as their tripod, or I know they have bullet time. If I hold this closed, this can connect and spin for bullet time. Or this is one of the Go 3S cameras. The little cameras then can magnetize onto the pendant. This can also be placed on the little tripod if we wanted it to. But here are the 2 Go 3S cameras that I'm taking. This one is mostly going to be used for Fito if he decides to also wear his magnetized pendant and carry his little camera around from to show his perspective. And then this one is mine. And then the last thing I have in here is this huge toiletry bag, which takes up the majority of this space. This bag is 11 liters when it is in backpack mode, and I think it's 8 liters when it's in crossbody. So I'll show what's in my toiletry bag. But I just wanted to show also what this bag looks like. It is just pink inside. It has this one little pocket that I put the Chromebook through and use it as like the little laptop sleeve. And it has an RFID pocket, zipper pocket. It also has this pocket in the front that I can't use when this bag is as full as it was. But when you want to put it in crossbody mode, this has a magnet and it just kind of clips down. And then these straps come off. And then you clip them onto here, these 2 at the top. And then it will be a crossbody. I'm using it as a backpack for Japan. Okay, so this is the Tripit toiletry bag. It has a hook that I plan on hooking on the plane so it's easy access, and I wanted to put a bunch of things from here that I wanted to use on the plane so that it's easy to get to. This is our first trip to Japan. So everything I packed, I kind of tried to get ready by watching a bunch of other packing videos, and this is what I ended up with. Right? This is the toiletry bag. Here at the bottom, I wanted something, this snaps off, so I wanted to put things in here that I can easily, once we get to Japan, I can just put this into the day pack once we get to our hotel and be a little more ready to walk around Japan. So in here, I put 2 plastic bags for trash because I know it's a little more difficult to find trash cans in Japan, and I wanted to be able to carry our trash and if we needed to, and then throw it once we get to the hotel. But I wanted to separate the trash in my bag with these plastic bags, the little HEB grocery bags. I'm taking a sunblock stick, just sunblock, tissues, chapstick, these are Burt's Bees, and then one from Spoiled Child, a pen. I got these little soap strips also. I think they're super, this little case is super cute, and from some videos I've seen, they say maybe it could be a little more difficult to find soap in the public restroom, so I'm taking this just in case. Soap strip just for us to wash our hands. And then these for the plane, they're Salud powder drink mixes. I have some for Energy and Focus, so the Energy and Focus ones have caffeine, so I did want to drink these when we needed to wake up, probably when we get to Japan or close to Japan, to wake us up. We have hydration ones, just so we stay hydrated on the plane. And then once we get to the airport tomorrow morning, we should sleep on the plane to try to get our bodies used to the time change in Japan. So it'll be 9:45 when the plane leaves, but that's already late in Japan and we should be sleeping. So yeah, hopefully these Calm and Sleep Salud powder drink mixes, we've had these before and they do help me feel sleepy. They have melatonin, and we got 2 different flavors that Fito and I like. So once we get to the airport, we'll take these right before or right when we get on the plane. And hopefully we'll go to sleep. And then I have safety pins. That's it for this pocket. This middle section I'm using for tech. So this big pocket, these are for the Go 3S cameras. They snap into here, and then they have a clip if we have a cap or on our backpacks or something like that. I have 2 for both the Go 3S's. Taking the Aftershocks headphones, they're Bluetooth. Taking my Kobo e-reader. Power bank. This is an old one that I've had for a while, so it still uses like the old charger, not even the new USB-C. I don't remember what these old ones are called, but yeah, this one's old. Since my Chromebook is also really old, like it no longer gets Chrome updates because it's so old. They stopped giving it Chrome updates, and the Bluetooth does not work on it. So I have this so that I can connect my Bluetooth headphones to the Chromebook. This just goes into the headphone jack. And then last in here is just, this is another Go 3S accessory where I can screw the Go 3S on here, and then this like can stick onto a surface. And what I like about this Tripit bag is this middle section can be opened from the other side as well. Let me put my headphones back. So that's this part, and then if I didn't open up the bag, it has this mesh pouch on the outside, and this is the same pocket. has access to. So if I had it closed, I would still be able to access it from the outside on this side. And then what I have in these two is more tech. This side has just a bunch of wires, a bunch of different wires, USB-C, the older one so I can charge the power bank, microfiber cloth, little Studio Ghibli one, it's so adorable. I think that's mostly what I just have in here, just a bunch of wires to charge the electronics. And then in here I have the camera accessories. This is to transfer files from the cameras, an extra battery, and micro SD cards for the X4. Another one of those sticky things. That's what I have in here. Okay, and then this top one, in here I have kind of like hair accessories. I have a hair clip, this hairline powder because I have thin hair, comb, just a stick to make a line on my hair, to make a hairline, and I have a bunch of little things in here. I have little rubber bands, bobby pins, tweezers. No, my tweezers fell out. I had tweezers. I have baby hair clips, clips to get like my hair out of my face. I also have a little makeup sponge in here. And then in this last pocket, I have extra nails because I just did my nails for the trip and they're so adorable and pretty for cherry blossom season. And if I lose any one of these, here's some extra that I can replace them with. I have 2 eye masks for the plane. These are like little shirt or dress accessories if I want to knot them, make them tighter or shorter. This will put a knot on the shirts. Oh, this one too, it's another version of the knot thing. These are some magnets in case I need to put my clothes in a certain way. I used these when I went on the cruise and I put on Fito's Haunted Mansion shirt. I put these on my sleeve to make them short and make the sleeves fit better. So these will help with that if I need them. These are like belt things also to make shirts or dresses shorter. And then I just have these Boomba magic strips that I plan on using. I have a couple of v-neck tops or dresses and they'll stick the shirt onto my skin. So these help a lot with that. And that's it. That's it for my toiletry bag. A lot of stuff fits in here. Like, it's so full and I'm so surprised it still closes. And that's it for, the day pack. Is our travel wallet. It just has our passport. This is a bandana from work, our out of office bandana. Passport. This is my Charles Schwab debit card, so I'm going to use this debit card to get yen out of the ATMs. And from the videos I saw, this debit card is a great travel card, so I opened an account right before this trip explicitly for our future travels, where it will refund you any ATM fees and there's no foreign transaction fees. So I'm excited for that. We have our insurance card and then our two, both mine and Fito's passports. Oh, this big thing. This weighs 20 pounds. I'm using the tripod right now, but I do have the tripod in this side pocket. This is the the same backpack I used for our Disneyland trip, the Pacsafe GO 34 liter, I think. But I put the tripod in here. this front pocket, let's see. This front pocket, I have a little laundry bag, and like I mentioned, I am taking merino wool clothes, so that includes my underwear. So I will be putting my dirty underwear in here and then hand washing them as we go. But for now, I have items that I want to put in my day pack as soon as we get to Japan. I put them together so that it's easy to get to. This is a reusable shopping bag. This is a stamp book. I'm hoping to get a few stamps, but I don't know if I'll end up getting busy not looking for them after all, but I got a book just in case we can. Hand towel. So in other people's videos, they did mention we should take a hand towel because they're sometimes not available in the restrooms after washing hands or anything. So this is good to have. A face mask just in case we need a face mask. We are going to Universal, so I brought my Universal Yoshi wristband. Zyrtec because I have allergies. And this is the emergency kit from our wedding cruise, but I changed it. I put Advil in here, Dramamine chews, Pepto-Bismol, and a bunch of Band-Aids. So I want to easily be able to transfer this to the day pack once we get to Japan in our hotel and get settled. I'll be using this as a little laundry bag. Otherwise, I have just tons of tissues in here because of allergies, and I get a runny nose like all the time. So I'm taking a bunch of extra tissues just to have them. If I need more, I'll buy. Maybe this is overkill, but yeah, this pocket. Just put tissues. All these tissues. The only other thing in here is, yeah, my turtleneck pillow. So this will be super helpful on the way back when we have a sitting seat. While on the lay flat seat, this is still a little bit cushioned, so I was going to try to see how that works with using it as a regular pillow. I tried. Hopefully it's comfy. I'll let you know if it was good for the lay flat seat or only good as the neck pillow that you wrap around your neck and for sleeping while you're sitting down. But now for the big compartment. Okay, I've unlocked it. Let me undo these. Okay. Okay, I have a lot of stuff in here. This is more toiletry stuff, and while I'm on the plane, I'm probably going to have to open this bag to get this also. This is the more like liquid toiletries. This is scrubber for when I take a shower. My mom got this on a recent flight when she went to London and Paris. It just has lip balm, towelette, hand cream, hydrating mist, and eye serum. So I thought it's fine to take. It has some useful things. Razor, an extra soap sheet, a toothbrush, face cream. This is hair oil, face wash, concealer, deodorant, antiperspirant. This is blush. This is BB cream. The rest is makeup stuff. Eyeliner, mascara, and mascara primer. Oh. Makeup setting spray. And then there's two little toothpastes. This also came with a Tripit toiletry case. So the pink matches, and it's been super useful. I really liked the whole toiletry kit with this bag and the other bag. For the days where it's gonna get cold, I'm being extra and taking some hot hands to try to keep myself warm. I'm also being extra for the plane, or maybe even the hotel rooms if I want a mirror closer. Taking this Mickey mirror. It has this little stand, so I can make it stand. And it has the magnified and the regular mirror. I don't know if it's a smart idea to take a mirror, but I think it looks super cute. Okay, I also have a couple of bags of a lot of the Salud drink mixes. So these are all the sleep ones they're taking because I'm gonna force us to try to get used to their time, to Japan time. Take these at night to force us to go to sleep or help us go to sleep. Take these when we wake up to help us stay awake, the energy ones that have caffeine. And then taking a little bit of the hydration ones. This is also part of the kit my mom got when she went to London and Paris. I took everything out, and here I have bra inserts. That's what's in here. This is our Mojix little power strip. I bought this like a super long time. Well, I bought this when we were going to Japan in 2020. I bought this for that trip, and I have not been able to use it. But it has this section in the middle for converting to other ports in other countries, but Japan has the same as the US, so I won't be needing that part. And it just has, you just connect to the port, and then it has ports like all around that you can connect it to, and then it has 2 USB-A ports on this side. Yeah. This is for all the things we need to charge. And I like the little donut it comes in. These are face wipes. This is an umbrella, little umbrella. It does keep saying it's gonna rain some days, but then I check the weather the next day and it's not. But I expect it to rain at least some of the time, so we have a little travel umbrella. I also hear it's cheap to just buy the umbrella when you're there, but I'm just taking it. Frithel and I each have one of these little picnic sheets. Mine is Mickey, People's is Monsters Inc. But this is just if we do get to have a little picnic under the cherry blossoms or just eat or rest. We're just going to use these little things that are convenient instead of sitting on the floor or the ground. I have an extra pair of shoes in here. These are my brown Bessies, and I'm also taking, oh, my other shoes are downstairs, but I'll put a picture of both shoes. I forgot which shoes they are, so I'll probably also put that information. But these are my brown Bessies, and then my main pair that I'm taking onto the plane are white. And I'm glad. Yeah, this also came with the toiletry kit, this bag, and it's been super useful to put my shoes in. And Fethel, it was also big enough for Fethel to put his extra pair of shoes in. So this has been very great as a shoe bag, and it compresses them too. In here, I have the green version of this jacket. I'm taking a couple of belts to accessorize some of the dresses. So here's the green jacket, a couple of belts. I made a beanie and gloves. I really liked this yarn. It reminded me of cherry blossoms. So I have these, crocheted these, and I made a beanie for the cold days. I think it came out really cute. I love the colors. Okay, this is an expendable tote bag. So we are planning on buying a lot of things while we're there in Japan. So for the way back, I'm planning on probably checking this because it's still under the dimensions to put in and a carry-on on the plane, but I don't think it'll be under the weight limit. So, duffel bag and this has a strap. I'm planning on taking. It is pretty big for all our souvenirs. So yeah, I'll hold this back. So we'll probably check it for a suit. And if the souvenirs are more fragile, we'll probably put some of our clothes or put all our clothes in there and take the souvenirs on the plane with us so that we're more gentle. This packing cube has all my clothes besides pants. Taking 2 pairs of pants, these green ones. They're the Hoyt joggers from Woolland, and these they're cedar wood. So I have these packed at the bottom, and then this has the rest of my clothes. I have 2 extra pairs of socks. No, 3, because I'm taking the compression socks on the plane. I have 3 socks, a pajama shirt, and pajama shorts. These are shorts that go under dresses, so they're just I forgot what they're called, the Woolland website, but they're Summit shorts. Yeah, Summit shorts. And here's a black version of the Summit shorts, so I'm taking 2 pairs. This is my Brooklyn dress, so this is a black dress that goes up to my knees, and I'll probably put a picture of the dress. I'm taking, oh, there's my 2 pairs of underwear in here, and then I'll be taking one on, taking a sports bra just in case I need a sports bra. I'm taking the Stella shirt in natural white, and I'm taking 2 of these Natalia. These are like the V-neck wraps, but I really like these because I think they're versatile to be worn, or at least I can wear them on their own or over or under my dresses or shirts. So I really like these. So I have it in Time, the color Time, and then I have one in, I think it's blush or something. But that's all the clothes I'm taking, and the idea is to mix and match everything, and I don't think I needed a lot clothes to do that, and we'll see. I'll probably be putting pictures of how I wore the clothes and the different styles that I was able to wear it, but all my clothes fits in this one little packing cube besides the pants. And this one has too much clothes to actually try to compress it. I was able to compress the one with the beanie and then the one jacket and the belts. That one was compressed, and I'll compress it again. But that's everything I'm packing. I'm gonna have to repack all this now. We'll see how our trip goes. I'm so excited. Hopefully I'm not in need of anything, and if so, I'll come back and mention it. See what worked, see what just took up space. Yep, that's it for this video. Hopefully it was helpful, and I'll be back with more pictures and videos of Japan. Thank you. Bye. We are back from our trip and back home. How we packed and what we packed, and any lessons learned, anything we took that we're glad we took. So I wanted to go over first, I guess, our souvenirs. So this is the packable tote that I took, and yes, it is all filled up with items that we brought back. We did have to repack a bunch of stuff to try to make room for things. I did pack some of my husband's items in my backpack. I packed some of my things in this bag, and then we bought a bunch of stuff at the airport, and we packed some of that in my husband's backpack since we tried to make space. And then we also, this is a bag from the airport, and then my husband bought an extra bag at the airport And yeah, this is what we bought at the airport that we also took on the plane after we had already gone through check-in with Zip Air and through security. Some of the things we put in my husband's backpack were, we bought a couple of these Tokyo bananas. We put some in his backpack. We bought some Pocky, so that's also in his backpack. We bought more boxes and we put them in here. We bought some boxes of this Kit Kat here. I already saw some family members, so I did already give them their souvenirs. So we have less here at home. And then, yeah, we more Tokyo bananas. I don't remember if this was originally in here since we had already packed it before we got to the airport. Oh no, this was in this bag. But then when we were giving all the souvenirs to my family, we took it out and we just put it in here. But this had been packed in the tote bag. And then I did not end up using this as a laundry bag. I just washed my undergarments every day as I showered. So instead, here I put some items that I wanted to make sure didn't break, which was mostly a bunch of magnets. But yeah, in here, we packed this in my husband's backpack, but it's in here after we unpacked and gave a bunch of souvenirs out. But yeah, in here, just a bunch of magnets, some keychains, little Kirby souvenir. But yeah, a bunch of magnets that I wanted to make sure didn't break are in here from Japan. Okay, and then in here, some of the stuff I repacked from my backpack is one of my packing cubes. I had the jacket and belts. The jacket and belts are still in there. And the shoes, I didn't pack them in here. I packed them in here. And then the rest of this is just souvenir items bought there in Japan. Stuff from Tokyo Disney. A lot of stuff from Tokyo Disney. Some stuff from Nintendo store. Some cute little wooden or paper wooden things that can be put together with glue. Wands we bought at Universal. A Magikarp hat my husband found in Don Quixote. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. Some Ichiran ramen. There was about 3 in here, but 2 were souvenirs, and this one's ours. But we did fill this tote up with items. I'm not sure I would take this tote again for souvenirs. It was convenient to pack in my backpack, but then starting to lug this around when going between cities was a bit of a hassle because it got big and heavy. Next time I would get a roll-on little carry-on suitcase and put my backpack in there on the way to Japan. That would add some weight, and for the airlines that do weigh your stuff like Zip Air, so I probably would have had to get rid of some items just to make sure it was within the weight that I paid for. But it would have been a lot easier once we started buying stuff to just carry this backpack afterwards, or even place it on top of the rolling luggage, because everyone in Japan had like a rolling suitcase or rolling luggage. They were everywhere, and I think we were the odd ones out with this big duffel. So that's one of the differences I would do. I wouldn't pack a duffel. I would just take this backpack in a small rolling luggage instead. Okay, for my day pack, in the beginning I was wishing I had taken my bigger bag to carry. I would take the tripod around in like Tokyo or Osaka, and that tripod does fit in this bag, but when I would take it out, it was really, really hard to put back in. So in those times I was wishing for my bigger backpack just to fit the tripod a little better. But then towards the middle of the trip, I started putting it in the shopping bag that I have. So I would just take this day pack and the shopping bag and put the tripod and sometimes the 360 camera in there, and that ended up working. So I ended up being good with this size of bag, since that was the only reason I wanted a bigger bag. But this bag ended up being perfect. I still have these items that I took on the plane. I ended up not using the plastic bags because we ended up just putting trash in the shopping bags and then throwing them when we found trash cans. We got to the hotel. I did end up using these soap packs a few times, twice I think. We did use a couple of the sleep, energy, and hydration packets. I ended up not using as many energy packets because my body has become sensitive to caffeine and it ended up keeping me up at night even though I took it in the morning. But these ended up being great for my husband. And then we would take a sleep one almost every night. So I was happy with the sleep ones and the hydration ones. I wish I could have used more of the energy ones, but they weren't working out for my body specifically, but great for my husband. We didn't use the sunblock, but there were times where I felt like we should have, we just didn't. But we did have a lot of days too that were just very cold, wet, and rainy. So it was like majority were cold and rainy, with just a few nice sunny days. I think maybe there was only one day where I felt like we really should have put this on, but it didn't take up that much space, so I was okay with it. Tissues I was happy to have just because there was some occasions where I had a runny nose or something and I was happy for tissues. And then I used my chapstick every day. And the safety pins I was also happy to have because 2 of my shirts I ended up needing the safety pins because they were a little lower than I wanted. So the safety pins helped me with that. Tech wise, the power bank used every single day because I was using my phone so much for pictures and videos and just for transit, for the theme parks. I was using my phone, so my phone was everything, and this power bank was able to keep it alive for the rest of the day. Sometimes my phone would be at a lower percentage at like noon, so I would connect it to the power bank and it was fine for the rest of the day. Some of the things I wish I hadn't taken are I wish I hadn't taken Fiko's camera, or I guess my second Insta Go 3S camera. We never used it. We did use mine maybe the first 1 or 2 days, and then I didn't use it for the rest of the trip, so it does have some good footage that I have to go through. I did use my headphones on the plane, both coming and going, and then my Chromebook, used it on the plane going to Japan, and then we used it in our hotel rooms while we watched YouTube videos or just something to have on at night. That's when we would use this. So this did get its use often. For the medicine we took, I'm really glad we didn't need the Dramamine for nausea or the Pepto-Bismol for any stomach aches. We did end up using some of the Advil because we did do so much walking, our legs would hurt. So my husband did take some Advil sometimes when it would get a little bad and our legs were really sore. So I'm glad we did take this. Happy to not have had any allergic reactions to anything, so we didn't need this medicine. And yeah, the things I wish I didn't take are just the extras I had for the Go 3S cameras, like this clip for the Go 3S. I wish I'd only taken one of these since I only used one camera, but I took both for both cameras. I didn't end up doing any reading on the way back. I mostly tried to sleep on the plane. I didn't use the extra 360 camera battery that I took, so I didn't need that. And I didn't end up using, I think I used everything in here for my hair. I used some tweezers, I used some of the little rubber bands, the comb. I didn't end up using this Boldify for my hair after all. So that could have stayed home. I'm so glad none of my nails came off, so I didn't end up needing this, but glad to have taken it just in case. There were a couple times where I thought my nails could have fallen off, but they stayed. I did use my eye mask on the plane to try to sleep. And yeah, I did use these for some of my shirts to try to keep them to stay put. They're the magic strips from Boomba. And then yeah, all the wires, I maybe only used 4 of them. And I think I have a couple more in here, the wires to charge my watch, my headphones, my power bank, and my phone. So I only used those 4. I think I had a couple extra in here just in case, but I didn't need them. The one that charges my phone was able to charge a couple of other things, and I never had to charge anything at the same time, so that one would have been enough. That's mostly it for these items. Just a few things I wouldn't have taken, but not too many, that I was glad to have them. Also had my travel pillow. This did work for the plane. With the full flat, I was able to use this as a pillow, just leaving it the way it was and laying on it. It was still comfy enough, and then on the way back sitting down using it as a travel pillow. It's meant to. I only used the water bottle also on the way going to Japan. I didn't use it at any other time. It doesn't take up too much space, but maybe I could have done without it and just ordered another water bottle from the plane since they weren't too expensive. That was it for what I have in my travel bag. And then for my suitcase backpack, I did use my 360 camera, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. It wasn't too many times, but I was still glad to have it for those 2 or 3 times. In this front pocket, I have my undergarments because I forgot to pack them. They were, after I had washed them and I dried them, I just stuffed them in there. I was happy to have still this weight scale just to make sure we were still underweight. We did check the tote. We checked the tote, and I still had these as carry-on for Zip Air. I put the liquids and makeup bag in here. I did use everything in here except all the items in here that has the towelette, lip balm, hand cream, hydrating mist, and eye serum. I didn't use the eye serum. I didn't use the towelette. I used the hand cream often because none of the hotels we stayed at in Japan had hand cream, so that hand cream came in useful because sometimes my hand felt so dry. I did use the lip balm once and the hydrating mist once just to see, but I didn't need them since I had a bunch of chapstick anyways. So I think this was the only thing that I didn't use in here. That and the extra hand soap sheets that I had taken since I used the other ones and I used it twice. These were just extra. And everything else in here I used for my hair, my deodorant, my makeup. So all these were good. And I'm glad I had them. Took a bunch more tissues than I needed. Didn't have to take as many tissues. I was good with just that one that I had. This is in here. Oh, this is just one of the souvenirs that I bought at Universal. I was able to fit that in here on the way back. And that's it for here. Okay. Happy to have taken our umbrella because we did need it a few times because like I said, the weather there was cold and rainy some days. So glad to have the umbrella. I didn't end up needing this little tripod since I had the big tripod and I did the majority of my pictures and filming with this tripod that the phone's using right now. So this ended up taking up space. No, I did use it once. I had it when we were eating Ichiran ramen and I used it for this camera and I did like that angle. So I guess this didn't end up taking space. it was good to be used with this camera, but I don't think I used it also more than once or twice. This coin purse ended up being super convenient because we ended up getting a lot of coins. So I ended up putting them all in here. So happy to have taken this coin purse. This still has all my clothes. I did use every single article of clothing I took except the sports bra that I have in here. I didn't take my sports bra, but I did mix and match all my clothes, wore my pajamas, wore my beanie and my gloves. So love that. Everything that I took clothes wise was useful. I did use this at Universal, my Yoshi band. Like I said, when we repacked, we moved a couple of things of my husband's into mine and some of my things into the duffel bag. So this is my husband's, some of my husband's clothes. These are the packets I have left of the energy drinks and the sleep ones. Like I mentioned, I ended up not being able to drink the energy ones as much as I wanted because they were keeping me up even though I would take them in the morning. And the sleep ones, we did drink a lot of these, but I took more than we probably needed. I did drink all my hydration ones. There's 2 left that I had brought for my husband that he ended up not drinking. The makeup remover towelettes, I used one every day. This was a thick block on the way over to Japan, so now it ended up taking a lot less space in this pack since I had used one every day, and I'm glad I was able to not have to pack a whole block on the way back. Hand towel, also perfect for Japan since every time we washed our hands in a station or a public restroom, there's not really anywhere to dry your hands, so we ended up using this often. Or even on the rainy days where I didn't feel like taking the umbrella because it was only a drizzle, we would get back into a dry area like the bus or something, and I would use the hand towel to kind of like wipe some of the drops off my jacket. Loved having the hot hands because I used them also almost every day. Even the days that were just cool, my hands would get cold, and I knew I had brought enough of these, so I would just go ahead and open one, and they would keep my hands warm. I ended up with 3 left. And these also were easier to pack on the way coming back from Japan since there was a lot less and I didn't have to carry a whole pack. So I was glad to be extra and have taken those. We did use this too. We had a picnic under the cherry blossoms and it was so cute and I loved it. So we did use these little picnic mats at that time, and then also at Universal when we sat on the floor to wait for a show, I had taken this and I had used it as well. So this doesn't take up too much space and we used it. It came in handy. My mirror came in handy on the plane and also came in handy at some of the hotels where I was able to get ready sitting down on the bed, or just, I was just happy to have this mirror. I felt like it was a good size. It had a stand and I did use it a couple of times. I only ended up using this, what is it called? Like connection to charge our items once at one of the hotels, because one of the hotels only had like 1 outlet. So I only used this once at that hotel, but the other hotels did have enough of their charging ports and outlets for this not to be needed. I'm so glad I took it just because it's small, didn't take up too much space. We used it once. These have my Boomba cover-ups. Did use these every day. Shopping bag. Very grateful to have also because I did use this like every day. Whenever we went to the convenience stores, whenever we just started buying stuff, they do charge you for the little bags, so we did have these. I had my own and my husband had his own and we used ours. This was perfect. I had this to carry the 360 camera on my backpack strap, but ended up taking it off, never using it, so didn't have to take that. And then I have 2 of my pants. But that's it from everything we packed, and for the majority of the things that I took, I used them and I'm glad I had them. A couple things, like I mentioned, I didn't end up needing. A couple of things that I did take that I didn't end up needing, I was glad to have them just in case, like the allergy medicine. Hope this was helpful on lessons learned and items I took. Like I mentioned, I think the biggest regret was taking the tote instead of just putting the backpack in a rolling like luggage bag. But it ended up working out, just being a little bit more of a hassle than it could have been. But that's it for this trip. We're excited. It was such a great trip. We're hoping to book and plan another one in the future. That's it for me. Bye.